let's have this goodin come up here. Miss Nancy Juetten. So I want to read Nancy's official bio because she does know a thing or two about writing a really sexy bio. And then I want to talk to you about Nancy as my friend. So Nancy Juetten, business bio expert and yet known to get paid mentor, got introduced to joint venture partnerships in 2006. Today, some of the biggest names in internet marketing and business coaching, Christian Mickelson, Christine Closer, Bill Barron, and Helen Rush, call her by name, sing her praises, and proudly advocate for her products, programs, and services to their tribes as she returns the same, and quite frankly, something better for them. This single strategy that she employs has added more star power to her personal brand and reputation and accelerated her impact, influence, and income than any other. Who would like some of that in their business? Yes? Yes. All right. I will also say to you that I've had the pure pleasure of knowing Nancy Juetten now for a long time. In fact, I was a stalker, officially, of hers. Back in the day before she became the very woman of significant influence that she is. I remember the first time that Nancy invited me to her home for a mastermind, and I literally felt like I had been invited to the equivalent of Oprah Winfrey's home. It was such a starstruck moment for me, and I sat there, this 30-something-year-old gal in the middle of a business transition going, they like me. They really like me. And she was so gracious and kind, and she really just pours in to every person that she meets. And that's what you're about to get today, is 100% of Nancy. For the next 20 minutes, I want you to get your pencils out, your notebooks ready, your journal. If you're a tweeter, I want you to start tweeting, however it is that you're going to keep track of this, because Nancy's going to teach you everything you need to know about joint venture conversations and how to get them started. Welcome, Nancy Juetten.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. I love you too. Thank you, Debbie, for that fantastic introduction. It's really great to see you all here today. There are Tootsie Pops. This is a prop. I would like to engage you in this presentation. Who's with me? Yes. There is an expression, and it is coming to me now. Isn't that funny? It just went. Who believes, Debbie says often, that your net worth is in your network? Who will say yes with me now?
Yes. Yes.
Who believes that the rising tide lifts all boats? Yes. Any Seahawks fans among us? Russell Wilson would say that the separation is in the preparation. Yes? Let me see those Tootsie Pops. I would like to tell you that I believe all these things with my full heart, my full soul, my home, my bank account, my balance sheet, my heart, my gut, my head. And they have been absolutely the reason that everything that has happened for me over the last several years has come to pass. And so I am the kind of person that likes to go above and beyond the call. And so when Debbie invited me to talk about this, I told her about all the things that I was going to share that you would be able to take away. And that was all promoted in the information. And then I realized that I only have 20 minutes. So I want to start the presentation with presents. I have, for all of you, this handout. This is a content-rich, useful handout that will give you so much access to a lot of what it is that I'm going to be talking about. And there's also here access to a video, a full-length 75-minute video that you can access on YouTube, no opt-in required. Go and read it, watch it, listen to it, because it's there for you. And when you're there watching the video, at the very end, there's 2 juicy, relevant, and congruent benefits in terms of bonuses that will actually help you learn even more about joint ventures. So if this is something that you're excited about, it's like getting a PhD just because you came to eWomen today. How does that sound? I also am going to be giving away something really, really juicy. And so if it's something that you are interested in, there is a business card basket that will be coming around from the beautiful Maxine, and I highly encourage you to put your business card in there because I'll be giving away one lucky winner something that you will not want to miss. It is a VIP seat at the Get Your Story Done virtual workshop, and also the JV Leaderboard Secrets virtual mastermind I'll be leading this fall. It's a $1,497 value. No plane tickets are required, but all you have to do is belly up to the bar to benefit. So if you want that, please put your business card in the basket. What I wanted to do today is keep it really personal. I started with those 3 sentences and statements because those are the things that have been guiding me forward. Today, I have become very successful as a joint venture partner. And it is so exciting to be sitting at the big kids' table. And, as Debbie was saying, Sandra puts up her hair in potato chip clips and is a real person just like you. Well, I am too. I am too. And I've been thinking, when could I go from the little kids' table to the big kids' table, and how could I do it? But more important, how could you do it too? So there I am now, but it wasn't always like that. Before I started down this path, I was a very successful owner of a public relations agency, and I knew how to stand behind the curtain and wave my arms about and make big noise for other people. And people got very successful because of it. And then something happened. These were all people that you would know: Fran Bigelow, Fran's Chocolates, Roger Staubach, the football great. I mean, really big names. So then there was this thing called the Great Recession. Were you there? Yeah. Talk about a humble time. My husband and I had suburban assault. Our home was burglarized twice. The plumbing flooded the downstairs. And then just a couple weeks before Christmas, a tree came through the roof in a windstorm just in time for Christmas. And I thought, we can't live here anymore. So at the worst possible time, we bought a beautiful new house on top of the hill. We couldn't sell the house that we wanted to leave. And every march to the mailbox was like a death march because I knew that if I went there, there would be bills waiting. So one day, I go to the mailbox, and there's an envelope. It doesn't look like a bill. I open it up. There's a check in it for $2,000. I thought, this must be some mistake. What do I do? I go to the house. I show it to my husband, shaking. He says, what did you do? I said, I have no idea. So I call the name on the check, and I said, hi, I'm Nancy Juetten. I just received a check in the mail in the amount of $2,000. I have absolutely no idea what it is. Can you tell me? Oh, yes, I'm so glad you called. One of your followers on your newsletter list was so delighted with your introduction to our publicity summit that she gladly invested $10,000 to be a part of it, and your reward is $2,000. What else can we do to encourage you to advocate for us? Okay. So I explained this to my husband, and he says, well, I don't know what you just did, but can you do it again? I said, okay. So then I was at a networking event, the Bellevue Chamber of Commerce. I used to work for Como Television and Jack in the Box restaurants, and I used to do a lot of this networking. So I sit down around the breakfast table, and there's all my old friends from Como and King and all these folks, and they'd all started these new ventures. And one of them said, I'm starting this new telecommunications company from a name that you would know, and we're looking for someone to handle the PR. You're the one that we want. And I'm thinking, okay, networking is really good. Show up. So I show up, and they call and talk to me about the assignment. And it turns out that the scope of work is so huge that there's no possible way that someone that's got the size of an agency that I had could handle the scope of work. So I did the right thing, and I called them. And I said, I'm honored and delighted to receive this powerful introduction and that you want to work with me. And I would be irresponsible to say yes to this assignment because I don't have enough bench strength to do it. But what if I introduced you to someone I know that does, who's a rock star? Would that help you advance your mission? And they said yes. So I introduced and brokered this arrangement where they would meet this new agency where they could get the help that they needed and get it done in a world-class way. And that was all I thought of it. And then like 30 days later, I'm going to the mailbox, and I opened an envelope. There's a check inside. It's $800. I'm thinking, what the heck is this? So I go to the phone. Hi, what is this? Oh, you know that referral you provided us? That was a perfect referral for us. They signed an $8,000 a month retainer, and for as long as we have the business, we'll be sending you $800 a month. Wow. That went on for about 18 months. And at the best possible time for us, because my PR firm had kind of fallen apart, and I was, called to create something new. And I thought, you know what? Being a publicist is standing behind other people, waving your arms and about, being invisible, but making the client that you're advocating for look so big that everybody's singing their name. And for me to be a champion of others in this particular way would be a way for me to reinvent in a relevant way in a new economy where I could probably do really well, because I came out of the birth canal promoting other people. I've been hiding behind other people my whole life, and perhaps there's a whole other presentation I can give on that, but it starts and stops today. I'm right here, right now, right in front, no bangs on my forehead. What do you think? So the best man at our wedding, Dennis McGraw, had this funny saying. He said, if one person tells you your horse is behind, you can ignore them. And if the second person tells you your horse is behind, you have to take a second look. And the third time, you better buy yourself a saddle. So the first check was $2,000. Then there was 18 months of $800. I'm thinking, maybe this scholarly artist that I am should do her homework and find out what it is to be a rock star joint venture partner. Here was my secret sauce, though. All the while I'm developing my products, my programs, and my services, I'm paying attention to growing my own list organically in all the ways that I possibly can, by offering irresistible free gifts to folks, inviting people to enter to win contests, doing all these sorts of things. And all this while, when I started out, I had 185 names on my newsletter list, which is probably friends and family and people that didn't like me very much. Today, I have almost 20,000 people around the world who look forward to receiving my newsletters and hearing my stories and getting my resources and tips. 20,000 people make a lot of noise on behalf of clients that I get to advocate for. And how did I do it? And more importantly, how can you do it? I was at Total Networking with Debbie Whitlock a few years ago, and Mari Smith, the social media expert, was on stage. And she asked this question, who's in your Hollywood squares? There was this TV show, I'm dating myself, but it was Charles... Yes, thank you. Charles Nelson Riley in the center, and there's 8 degrees of separation between all these amazing people, and there's, who she was, whatever. She said, identify your Hollywood squares in all aspects of your business. Who are the world-class clients you most want to serve? Who are the world-class vendors that you most want supporting you? And in my case, I made the leap and thought, who are the world-class joint venture partners that I wanted to advocate for, that I was hoping would advocate for me one day? And I got very deliberate and specific and strategic about it. And that's my invitation for you. So I want to use an example from real life. I was just hearing about Carol Stanley is celebrating her 50th wedding anniversary. Congratulations. I see so many opportunities for joint ventures here, because we're thinking joint venture, strategic partnership, these kinds of things. So if somebody is going to be celebrating their 50th anniversary, there's a whole variety of products, services, and programs that one might want to purchase to create the celebration. You might be going to the party store. You might be going to the place to have invitations engraved. You might be talking to a caterer. You might be talking to someone to clean your carpets and floors and to dust and get that, what's that, dust bunny eradicator? You might have him to the house to clean things up. And then there might be some magnificent trip that you're going to take, because you're going to go celebrate in all kinds of yummy, delicious ways on a plane and a boat or a train or wherever you're going. Hopefully where there will be a heavenly bed waiting for you when you get there. All of these places along the path are people that could refer from one place to the other, to the other, to the other, right?
Yes.
So if you were the person that was handling catering, wouldn't it make sense for you to have an alliance with the person who is creating the stationery? And wouldn't it make sense for you to handle, you see how it works? Someone buys an engagement ring. They're at the wedding ring store. Well, somebody's going to be booking a hotel. Somebody's going to be going on a honeymoon. You see how this works? So I want you to think about who buys what's the thing the person buys before they get to you? And what's the thing people wisely invest in when they leave you to go to the next place? Because that's how you can start to narrow your scope to a manageable, less overwhelming list of people where you could actually create a relationship that would actually pay off for you. Make sense? Yeah. So how did I do it for myself? I remember driver's training. Aim high in steering. Always leave yourself an out. You remember that guy? I'm thinking, yeah, there's a lot of regular people doing business across Main Street, USA, but I want to aim high. Because if I reach for the stars, I might just land on the moon, or whatever that expression is. So I thought, okay, I help people write their bios so that they can stand out and shine. I help people get known to get paid. Who would be interested in that? Okay, great, awesome. So I'm thinking to myself, like, blue ocean strategy, who makes sense? Anybody who leads a tribe of authors that wants to get their books done is a good tribe for me, because I can help all those authors write their bios and do their publicity without competing with the guy, the gal, or whoever it is that's helping people get their books out of their head and onto paper. Because that person is a book specialist, she's not necessarily a bio expert. So she can bring me in as a guest expert. I can talk about how to build a better bio to build a better business. Everyone in the audience will love it. And if their people decide to invest in my program, I'm happy to share the wealth with the person who hosted me. So get your book done people are great. People that teach people how to lead workshops with ease or fill their workshops with ease, those are great people for me, because everyone who leads a workshop needs a bio, and hey, I know how to do that. And then I thought, well, who else? How many people do you know, big leaders of tribes, who help people get more clients? Oh my goodness, how many? Like, let's write a book. Get the Rolodex out, because there's a lot of people that do that. Well, none of them teach you how to write a bio that stops traffic like I do. So I'm going to go approach them. And then there's all these publicity people. Do you ever feel like threatened because someone else does what you do, and you think, well, I don't want to be in the same room with that other money person because I'm a money person, right? I say take an attitude of abundance. Joan Stewart was my very first joint venture partner, and she was the most generous, wonderful person on earth. She is known as the publicity hound. Here's what happened, and this is the unwitting thing that I forgot to tell you that I'll make with this particular story. I was studying my competitors. I'm a scholar. I pay attention. I look at their websites. I see what sets them apart. I see what makes me different. I thought Joan Stewart had it all figured out. And she was a mentor to me. So I wrote these publicity tips booklets, and there were 147 powerful ways to boost your business and grow your business through the power of publicity. And in the back, this is crazy. I said, and if you want to learn more, Joan Stewart is one of my mentors. Go and check her out at publicityhound.com. So I put these publicity books in an envelope, and I wrote a handwritten note, and I say, you've been such an inspiration to me. I created this information product, and I wanted you to know that you're mentioned in the back. Because I wanted her to know she had made a difference for me. She calls me on the phone. She's a very distinctive voice. I want to speak to Nancy Juetten. I'm scared to death. She says, are you Nancy Juetten? I said, yes, I am. She says, damn good tips booklets. Wished I'd written them myself. And then she says, do you have an affiliate program? And I say to her, what's an affiliate program? She says, do you have a shopping cart? I said, yes. And I said, okay, I'll set it up. She says, go to your shopping cart, set up your commission, be generous, let me know when it's up, and I will promote you. I didn't even know what was happening. So I call my webmaster and I say, could you set this up for me, please? 30% commission for information products, 10% for professional services. He said, it's done. So I call her back. Joan, my affiliate program is officially set up. I would be honored if you would be my first joint venture partner. She said, me too. It's going out in the newsletter next week to 30,000 people. Hold on to your hat. So the next week or whatever it was, I'm sitting at my desk like a normal day. My husband's across the hall. We work from home. And I see, you have an order, you have an order, you have an order, you have an order. It was like sitting at a Las Vegas slot machine. I go to my husband, I said, you got to check this out. This is crazy. He says, honey, I think you're onto something. So I'm so grateful for my competitor putting me on the map. And I sent her 30% of every referred sale. And all these many years later, we are colleagues, we are friends, we are, if I ever get to Madison, Wisconsin, I'm going to be having coffee with her and vice versa. So I'm here to tell you that build your Hollywood squares. Decide who the people are that you can support first before you ask for anything for yourself. And this is one more confession, which is really important. It's taken me a really long time. Does anyone in the room willing to confess that not everything you've created has sold like crazy? Me too. I have stuff that never went anywhere. You spend all this time creating this, that, or the other, and you're thinking, this is it. This is going to be my golden ticket. And then whoops, nothing happened. So what I decided to do is promote others first before I asked for support myself. Because if I could use my influence, whatever way I could drum it up, to create results that a partner would experience and feel, that they would only be too happy to reciprocate when I was ready to ask. So this is my final story, very quickly. 3 years, I get invited to Christian Michelson, his VIP JV Summit. There's some of the biggest names in the internet world. I get invited to go. And they say, we really like you, we really think you're great, but your products aren't that sassy, and we don't frankly think you're playing a big enough game for us to take you seriously, but we're really glad to have you here. That was really hard to hear.
Left-handed, yeah.
Oh my God. So I thought, you know what? I'm going to rise to the occasion. So for the last 3 years, I was very strategic and deliberate in championing the people where I felt it was a Cinderella glove fit, shoe, whatever. Last April, 3 years later, Milana Leshinsky, Christian Michelson, Verinda Normand, Michelle Chibnall, 40 people. They all did their 2-minute pitch. I went last, humble girl, little kid's table. I stood up there and I said, how many people in this room have been seen, heard, and celebrated because I have championed you and you have felt it in your bottom line? The whole room stood up and cheered. I said, it's been my pleasure to advocate for you because I believe in what you do and I'm so proud to support you. I've got some things coming up too, and I would love to invite your support, and I'm going to make it so easy for you, it's going to make your head spin. This is my sign-up sheet. There's 3 options. Who wants to play with Nancy? You know what happened? I got a standing ovation. Wow. And there was people that were putting their lipstick on the sign-up sheet with 42 exclamation points saying, whatever you want, it's yours. How did I do it? I gave first before I asked for support myself, and I gave like it mattered because it delivered what I needed it to deliver, which is the respect and the appreciation and the championship that I am just now stepping in to receive. So I am the joint venture leaderboard topping angel in the coaching community. I have a lot to teach you about this and so much more. So I want to say thank you. I want to make sure that this handout, which goes deep and tells you a whole lot more from the basics to the more advanced, please take advantage of it. And I'm Nancy Juetten. It's your story. Tell it well.